Caitlin Clark is the only woman in basketball to ever sign with Wilson Basketball, and she's the only athlete since Michael Jordan to do so.
If we're comparing a Caitlin Clark signature shoe release to anybody not named Michael Jordan, anybody not named LeBron James, you're being extremely disingenuous.
Basketball lovers, you won't believe what just surfaced and how it might completely shake Nike's billion-dollar empire. We're talking about a massive shift that has executives at Nike headquarters literally in panic. Right now, you're the biggest sports brand on the planet, valued at over $200 billion. And you just signed what everyone is calling the next Michael Jordan of women's basketball. You've got Caitlin Clark locked into an 8-year, $28 million contract, practically landing her for pennies compared to her true value. You're feeling secure, believing you've got the golden goose ready to print money for years to come. But then Wilson, yes, Wilson of all brands, just released a commercial so flawless, so emotionally gripping that it's making Nike's entire marketing team rethink their decisions.
When you strip away the noise and the bright lights, it's just the game you loved as a kid.
Chant of defense by the Clark fans.
And here's the twist. They pulled it off with basketballs, not sneakers. Yet the effect is about to flip everything upside down. Picture Nike's nightmare scenario right now. In the past few years, Nike has absolutely collapsed. We're talking about a company that's lost more than $100 billion in value since 2021. Things got so disastrous that people were openly demanding their CEO be removed. And guess what? He actually had to resign. While Adidas was thriving even after cutting ties with Yeezy, Nike was sinking under its own failures. Nike is projected to show a revenue drop of 11.5% to $11 billion in the third quarter, according to LSG data. This would be the steepest drop since the 38% decline Nike reported in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2020 during the pandemic. Underhill, Nike launched a bold turnaround plan. Though Morningstar analyst David Schwartz noted one or two flashy new releases won't be enough to get the sportswear giant back on track for revenue growth. It must build an entirely new franchise like a family of products that generate billions in sales. Schwartz said that process takes years. But then came their savior, Caitlin Clark, the generational star who emerges maybe once in 10 years. We're talking about someone who is twice as recognizable as Angel Reese in college, for times more popular than the most well-known men's player. That's absolutely unmatched in the history of college basketball. When she went pro, every major company was throwing huge money at her. Under Armour wanted to make her the face of the Curry brand. Adidas was ready to spend big, but she chose Nike because of the way they promoted her in college. Everyone was waiting for the reveal of her signature sneaker, the shoe expected to transform women's basketball forever. But here's where things get absolutely shocking. While fans awaited Caitlin's shoe, Nike revealed that Aya Wilson would receive her own signature sneaker first. And hidden inside that same announcement was a detail that should leave every Nike investor absolutely outraged. They revealed Caitlin's shoe wouldn't arrive in stores until 2026 or possibly even 2027.
People were even speculating that. But today was the Nike quarterly call, putting to rest any rumors that A, this wasn't a done deal, and B, there are renegotiations at the table. Something that this did clear up as well, it's looking like Caitlin Clark's shoe was coming in 2026.
Are you serious? 2 to 3 years for a sneaker? Let me explain how absurd that sounds. Back in 2003, when LeBron James was being chased by every major brand, Nike was so eager to sign him that they started designing his shoe before he even committed. They used a secret code named Air Zoom Noble LeBron spelled backwards to keep the project hidden. LeBron stepped onto court for his NBA debut, already wearing the LeBron ones, created in just 3 months from concept to his feet.
If we're comparing a Caitlin Clark signature shoe release to anybody not named Michael Jordan, anybody not named LeBron James, you're being extremely disingenuous. Extremely disingenuous. We can't compare abnormality to normal behaviors. We can't compare the extreme case, the rarest of the rare case, to an average Joe Schmo walking down the street singing do I did dum diddy do. We can't be doing that. We only compare Clark to Jordan, Clark to James, Clark to Tiger, Clark to Gretzky, Clark to Ali. That's it.
That's it. Nike went from a 3-month process to a 3-year process. Something is clearly broken here, and it's about to be exposed in the most humiliating way possible. When Caitlyn signed her contract, major outlets published headlines questioning why people were upset about her receiving a shoe deal. The controversy started. Some fans claimed that Aya Wilson deserved her sneaker before Clark, who hadn't even played a WNBA game yet. But the truth is, business isn't about fairness, it's about profit. Allen Iverson outsold Tim Duncan in sneakers despite Duncan being the superior player. Nike tried giving Duncan 2 shoes and canceled both due to weak sales. And Duncan didn't care because he understood business. But Aya Wilson isn't Tim Duncan. She's being actively marketed by Nike, appearing on billboards and commercials. And here's where things get uncomfortable. She's made questionable remarks about white athletes and privilege. When discussing Paige Buchers, she said her success was influenced by privilege, adding that she was good at basketball almost as an afterthought.
Black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot.
Caitlyn was excluded from the Team USA Olympic roster. The official explanation was that she hadn't earned it yet. Christian Lettner had no NBA experience when he was added to the 1992 Olympic Dream Team. Yet, Caitlin Clark isn't making this one. Diana Taurasi was a WNBA rookie when she joined the 2004 Olympic roster, and her numbers were similar to Clark's at the time. Still, 20 years later, Caitlin Clark is apparently not good enough. But then, she went on to dominate as a rookie. First team All-WNBA, leading all rookies in multiple categories, finishing 4th in MVP voting, and single-handedly boosting WNBA viewership. Her games averaged over 1 million viewers, while normal WNBA matchups drew around 300,000. Tickets to her first playoff game cost more than every other WNBA postseason matchup combined. The Washington Mystics even shifted to the Wizards Arena just to fit the massive crowds coming to watch her. She shattered WNBA attendance records in every city she played at in the end. Even Team USA admitted that leaving Caitlyn off the roster was a blunder. But Nike, they're still hesitating, too nervous to fully showcase their most valuable star. Then Wilson stepped in with a commercial that instantly shifted the landscape. And this wasn't just any ad. It was a storytelling masterpiece that made Nike's recent work look second-rate. The spot begins with a simple yet powerful line. When you strip away the noise and the spotlight, it's just the same game you loved as a kid. Direct hit to the emotions. While Nike sits frozen by politics, too cautious to truly push their superstar, Wilson delivers a campaign that taps into the pure essence of basketball. The ad continues. Feet planted on hardwood, ball in hand, pushing you, inspiring you, shaping the player you dream of becoming. Because the game always takes you back to your true place, calm, steady, and confident. This is nothing short of brilliant marketing. Wilson isn't pushing sneakers or trying to tiptoe around cultural debates. They're selling passion, memories, and the raw beauty of basketball. And who's at the center of this flawless vision? Caitlin Clark, the very player Nike seems too hesitant to fully embrace. But here's where it absolutely crushes Nike. Wilson made Caitlin Clark the first woman in basketball history to sign with them, and the only athlete since Michael Jordan to secure a partnership of this level. Let that sink in for a moment. They've placed her name right alongside MJ's legacy. The ad closes with the line Caitlin, always basketball, a tagline so sharp it will linger in Nike's boardroom for years. While Nike stalls, terrified of online backlash, Wilson has cemented itself as a true basketball brand that values the soul of the game above all else. And these basketballs, they're not ordinary products, they're bold statements. Wilson's team invested months learning everything about Caitlin, her favorite color, hobbies, and even what she might have pursued if she weren't a player. They analyzed her social media and style choices too. They're showcasing her like the superstar she truly is, While Nike still treats her as a risky controversy, Christopher Rickard, Wilson's senior director of global production, explained that the process began with 50 concepts, gradually narrowing them down. Sometimes the colors fell off, sometimes the patterns didn't click, sometimes ideas strong on paper failed in execution. The ad dropped alongside a brand new basketball line, releasing June 23rd, sparking an incredible reaction. Fans across the sport are hailing it as the best commercial in years, applauding Wilson for spotlighting the love of basketball instead of diving into political noise.
From the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season. The commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in the WNBA.
Nike's silence surrounding their biggest women's basketball star grows louder every single day as Wilson rolls out a flawless marketing campaign built around Caitlin Clark. Nike is left sitting on the sidelines, too hesitant to act. Wilson is using basketballs to tell the story Nike is too afraid to tell with sneakers. This is what happens when fear dictates strategy instead of recognizing pure talent and market power. Nike locked Caitlin Clark into an 8-year, $28 million deal, a bargain for an athlete who's already shifting the sport like no one else before her. Yet their hesitation has opened the door for a basketball brand to completely outshine them. The irony couldn't be sharper. Nike created its empire by elevating athletes who became cultural icons: Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James. These figures weren't just legends in sports. They weren't just athletes. They were cultural icons who reshaped the entire idea of sports marketing. Caitlin Clark belongs in that same conversation. Yet Nike is too caught up in internal battles to notice the treasure in front of them. Wilson, however, clearly understands her value. They aren't simply producing basketballs with Caitlin Clark's name. They're crafting a message of authenticity, prioritizing the sport and highlighting greatness without caring what social media debates might say. And this is where Nike should be most alarmed. That ad from Wilson isn't just strong marketing, it's flawless. It reflects everything that makes Caitlin Clark unique, while steering clear of unnecessary drama. It honors her passion for basketball, her realness, and her gift to inspire the next generation. The visuals are outstanding, the message resonates universally, and the emotion hits hard. Watching that spot, politics vanish. You only see pure love for the game. When you watch it, you're reminded of why basketball first captured your heart. That's the essence of brilliant marketing, and it's exactly what Nike should have done with their brightest women's basketball icon. Instead, they've chosen to watch passively while Wilson delivers a masterclass. The ad has racked up millions of views, spreading across every major social platform and earning praise from Hoops fans and marketing analysts everywhere. Wilson proved that prioritizing the essentials, talent, honesty, and passion for game, creates magic. This shifts the entire landscape because it reveals Nike's approach for what it truly is: timid. Their fear of backlash is so strong that they're willing to squander the most significant moment in women's basketball history. Nike is snoozing, but Wilson, they're making history. By partnering with a once-in-a-generation star, Wilson just showed the entire sports world how marketing should be done. Fans are watching, brands are watching, and trust me, they're all taking notes. Because here's the truth. If Nike refuses to properly back their own athlete, someone else will gladly step in and do it better. Wilson's latest move wasn't just smart, it was a direct hit, a perfect shot. And while Nike wastes time worrying about politics, Wilson is out here shaping the future. In sports and in business, you either rise up or get run over. The tide has shifted, the rules have changed, and Wilson just proved they can play this game far better than the so-called giants. This is only the beginning. And for Nike, the nightmare is just starting. What's your take? Let me know in the comments.